Hello students, today we are going to finish up section 9.1 by looking at the surface area of a prism. Okay, the surface area, S, that's what they denote as surface area, S, the letter S, of any prism is the sum, remember sum means adding, right, of the areas of the bases and the areas of the lateral faces. Okay, so algebraic, meaning like a formula, this would mean that the surface area is equal to areas of bases plus areas of lateral faces. Okay, so if we look at this first prism, okay, we are going to need to make sure that we know that the base is going to be this red triangle, okay? So to find the area of this base, we must need to know the formula for area of a triangle, okay? So remember that the area of the red base is a half base times height, okay? So remember the diagonal is not actually the base or the height. The base is 3 and it has this height of 4. So be very careful. Even though that this 5 is labeled on the triangle, we're not actually going to use it to find its area. So we can take 1/2 the base, which is 3, times the height, which is 4. I like to do 3 times 4 first, which is 12, and if we take half of that, or if we just divide it by 2, which some of you might do, is 6. Now, this is actually a little trickier than when we had rectangular prisms, because all of these lateral faces, you can see the green face, the blue face, and there's actually a face that is on the back side. All 3 of those have different areas, okay? So that's how it gets a little tricky with the different prisms that are not rectangular. Okay, so let's first just look at this blue one. Okay, we see that everything we need is labeled. We have a base of 4 times a height of 6, so that is going to have an area of 24. Okay, next let's look at this green face. Okay, it has a base of 3 and again a height of 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, and now we actually have that one more base in the back here, this base. If we were in class, I would have to go and find some prisms for us to look at to get a better visual, but remember there are 3 different lateral faces, okay, and then we have the 2 triangular bases in this example, okay. So this has a base of 5, okay, and it has a height of 6, so this face is 30. Okay, and now I need to add everything together, but before I do that, I need to remember that this 6, that is just the area of one base. Okay, so I'm going to add 6 plus another 6 to get this area of this base. They're the same. Okay, so plus 24 plus 18 plus 30, and we are going to get a surface area of 84 meters squared, okay? So all of the sides, if you are painting this prism, is 84 meters squared, okay? So let's look at another example, B, okay? Again, we have triangular bases. Okay, so I'm going to calculate those first. This time they're not colored, so that was really nice last time. So maybe if you like doing that, you could draw it on a piece of paper and color it yourself. I'm going to stick to red for my bases. Okay, so I see my triangle has a base of 5 and a height of 12 on this one. Okay, but it is a triangle, so we need to do a half base times height. 1/2, 5 times 12. Okay, so 5 times 12 is 60, and then if you divide that by 2, you should get 30, okay? So the area of this triangular section is 30 meters squared. Next, I'm just going to do the one that's right in front of me, okay? This big, long side. It has a base of the 13 and a height of 3. Okay, so 13 times 3 is 39, and we got that all good to go. Next, let's look at this back base over here. Okay, so this is 5. The height right here, you can tell, is actually going to be 3. Okay, so we have 5 times 3, which is 15. Okay, and finally, we need to get that back side face that we see would be on the opposite side. It would be nice if we could turn it and color it if we were in class, okay, but we can't. Okay, it has a base of 12 and a height again of 3. Okay, 12 times 3 we know is 36. Okay, but remember, we need to count our triangular base twice because there's 2 of them. Okay, so we get 30 plus 30 plus 39 plus 15 plus 36, which gives us a surface area of 150 meters squared. Okay, at this point, if you want to pause the video and try to do C on your own, I would say go for it. Okay, so let's go through it. Okay, this one is actually a little tricky because it's on its side, okay? So base is not always just something that would be like laying on your desk, okay? So you have to look at what there's 2 of, okay? So this one has this base. That is the triangle. You can see it has another triangle on this one, okay? So it has a base of 3, and this height is labeled on the back side as 4. So 1/2. 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and divided by 2 is 6. Okay, next we have to get all of the faces. So let's first find this face right here that is laying on the ground or the desk. Okay, if this were a figure in front of us, it has a base of 3 and a height of 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, next, let's do this side one. Okay, so I'll label it in green. Okay, it has a base of 4 and a height of 4. So 4 times 4, and we get an area of 16. Finally, there's this last one. I'm going to erase something so it makes it easier for us to see. Okay, it is this one that's on a diagonal. It's a little harder to see, okay? So we just need to pick out the base and the height, okay? So this base is the same as this base, so 4, and its height is this diagonal, okay? So that diagonal is labeled right there as 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. Again, remember, we have to count our bases twice, the 2 for the 2 triangles. So 6 plus 6 plus 12 plus 16 plus 20. And when you add those all up, you should get a surface area of 60 centimeters squared. Okay, so just to sum up things to remember doing them. Okay, so your bases, make sure you count each one of them, okay? So they are going to have the same area, just make sure you count it twice, okay? And you should be getting calculating 3 different, most of the time, areas of each of the faces. Okay, again, we have 3 here, 3 there, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'll leave it at that for the day. Please let me know if you have any questions or you need to set up a Google Meet to speak with me.